particularly interesting to me was seeing that the administration went out of its way to not say anything, not one thing at all. Didn't you find it weird that the very same mask that ICE wears, white nationalists wear? And
yo, what's up? This bruh man from the fifth floor, and you tuned in to Forgotten Kings TV.
It's Neo, Miss Independent. So the nation celebrated its Independence Day this Saturday, and I think nothing exemplifies the quandary that this nation finds itself in than what transpired. There were hundreds and hundreds of white nationalists that took to the streets of the nation's capital. 250 years ago, it would have been called protest. It was the way things work. A nation that is supposed to evolve finds itself going back to the same places it left. For us to say that we all know that we were all declare independence on the same day, we all know isn't true, but it was a day to have a family gathering or to eat some barbecue, catch up with friends. That was marred by America showing us exactly who is fighting to be, who is fighting to get away from. There were hundreds of white nationalists that took to the streets in D.C., and the thing that was interesting to me is that these white nationalists were on the train. So white racists on trains, it sounds more like a sitcom than an actual news event. But what was consistent, and no one can deny, is that this administration was silent about it. They've been more vocal about somebody tearing the pool up. They've been more vocal about jokes that were told. They've been more vocal about any number of things, but somehow the fact that hundreds and hundreds of white nationalists gathered in the nation's capital missed their gaze. But that's consistent with this administration. They were silent during Charlottesville when someone was killed. They were silent during the debate when Trump was asked whether he knew the Proud Boys and would he denounce them, and he said to them, stand back and stand by. Many of them were actually pardoned. What was particularly interesting to me was seeing that the administration went out of its way to not say anything, not one thing at all. Didn't you find it weird that the very same mask that ICE wears, white nationalists wear? And people who wear masks like that do that for the same reason. People who wear masks like that do that because whether you're a white nationalist or whether you're supposed to be a federal agent, you don't want people to know who you are. You cover your face because you don't want to go back to society, pleasant society, and have people know who you are. And that's consistent. It should be a blight. It should be embarrassing that the nation's capital, the federal officers have taken the very same garb that white nationalists wear. But I suspect it's for a reason. If you cover your face, either a commission of your job or expressing you have the right to free speech, but expressing hate speech, you do it for the same reason. You do it because you don't want your neighbors, your church members, you don't want the community members to know who you are. And if you will not denounce, like this administration will not denounce, the only reason anyone would not denounce white nationalists is because they are them. The only reason that wouldn't happen. The only reason you wouldn't denounce white nationalists is because you are them. And nothing is more quintessentially American than white nationalists. That's on note from the GED section. Got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.
Let's talk about it, y'all. That was D.L. Hughley reacting to the white nationalist march that took place on the 4th of July. That's right, y'all. As soon as people woke up early morning, you seen clips of this march that took place. Okay, apparently this happened between the hours of 8 and 9 a.m. It's being said that they all gathered on a train, right, in New Carrollton, okay, and rode to Washington, D.C. And, yeah, just to let you know, if you haven't seen the clips already, but this is crazy. My first reaction when I seen it is why they wearing Pooh Shiesty masks. I mean, come on. This is crazy. Now, again, you know, we haven't heard anyone speak out against what they did. You know, again, it's being deemed as a peaceful protest. You see what I'm saying? They ain't doing nothing wrong. You see how they frame that? You got real people out here protesting against real issues, and look at how they get treated by law enforcement. Now, again, whether you agree with D.L. Hughley's political views, right? You understand his stance in this game. You understand he's for his people, right? However, just like D.L. and many others, you know, they have to make a living, man. They have to pay their bills, take care of their family. It gets to a point where collectively, right, all of us as black people, we have to step up, because when you see images like this, where this young lady is on a train by herself as she's surrounded by all these men, you have to ask, what is going on? It's 2026, and all I see is the same old, same old. Now, from what I gathered over the weekend, aside from the rain, because we had a hell of a week, right, with the heat storm, then out of nowhere, we get all of this rain. But I just remember seeing these performances from so many artists, right? Look, Fat Joe, 50 Cent, you've seen all of these headlines about artists performing over the weekend. Everyone is celebrating 250 years of freedom. But ask yourself, does it feel like we're free? And the fact that we have people who are making so much money, they don't even want to speak about what we all witnessed this weekend. At least enough to say, yo, we ain't going for that. You seen one woman, right? One black woman on a train surrounded by all of these men. Now, we know how things went, 100 years ago, hell, 200 years ago. That situation could have went left. But we ain't even got to go that far back, right? Because it's still happening today. Our people getting done dirty today. I don't have to speculate about that or go in the past. It's still going on. You get what I'm saying? And this is why, not only myself, but everyone, we have to speak out on these issues and come together to support our community. Now, again, for those who may not know, hip hop was born, as a valuable asset to speak out against these issues. For the record, last year, it was said they made hip-hop, right, rap concerts, made $693 million globally. Come on. Why is this young woman by herself? Come on. I tell you one thing. It won't happen again. Because this how we pulling up next time. Yeah. This how we moving, y'all. Because enough is enough. All right. Ain't enough money in the world. All right. To buy off the fact that we see exactly what's going on. Let's be clear. Because when you got our people out here really protesting and fighting against this system that we've been fighting against for decades, we already know, right? Still fighting. We don't get that same treatment. We get hit with resistance for speaking the truth. But now when you see this trend that's been happening, that's being ushered by them folks in that White House, at some point you got to say, you know what? We got to come together. We much stronger together than, constantly going back and forth, right? Feeding the system that constantly overworks us and underpays us. I mean, come on. That's why I said this go around, we ain't going. we definitely gonna start holding each other accountable and being there for each other, because it's getting to a point, if not, we just sitting ducks. And the expectations of celebrities and others to speak out, as you can see, their loyalty is paying them bills, man. Come on. But you tell me, what's your thoughts on D.L. Hughley and his reaction to the march that took place on the 4th of July from the masked white nationalists? Are you shocked? Are you surprised? Is this breaking news? Let me know. But I know one thing. I'm tired of seeing all of these artists making money from rap, from hip hop, a culture that was created to help our people, to combat the system. Essentially, y'all selling out the culture. Hope you know that. So when you're not saying nothing, understand you're selling out your people. Just wanted to let y'all know that. But again, y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But that's all I got for y'all today. Again, enough of my yapping. My name is Sensei Rip. Till next time. Peace. Come on, y'all. I can't be the only one that feel like this, but it's no way in hell that woman should have been on that train by herself. For real. But again, you see this image. Yeah, let it be a lesson that from here on out, if you're going to slide for King Von, if you're going to pull up for a Drewski audition and a tryout, then guess what? You can stand up for this cause. You can stand up for your cause, for your community, for your people. And that's real. It's going to take more than one to change our condition and our circumstance. But no one's going to value our community, our people more than us. And it's time. If they can peacefully pull up, it should be no issues. Should be no issues whatsoever. So, that being said, I'm out, y'all. Peace. Thank you for watching my video. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also, hit that notification bell to get the latest on hip-hop, sports, comedy, whatever. All right, we got you covered over here at Forgotten Kings TV. And also, click on one of these videos, okay? All right, y'all. Peace.